near-death experience, it was like a wake-up call that I needed to have, that Creator gave to me. And it was after COVID, excuse me, and we decided to go on vacation and go out in nature. And, it wasn't a chance, it wasn't an accident. By chance, I say that I was bitten overnight on vacation in our cabin in the woods by a spider. And nobody really expects something like that to happen. It's pretty, uncommon where I live as well. But I didn't really give it enough thought and consideration when it happened that maybe I could die from this. It was uncomfortable. It happened overnight. And, the reason that I learned why it happened as I've been on my healing journey is because I needed this wake-up call, like I said. But on vacation, I had gotten into an argument with my husband. And we have gone through many trials in our love trials, and something he did really triggered me. And that night when I went to bed, I felt just more angry and infused with anger. And it's also because of this space or this cabin where we were staying. I felt not good in this place. It didn't have good energy. Like as soon as we arrived there, I felt unwelcomed. I felt heavy. I felt like the air was thick, and it didn't smell. It had like, this smell, because I'm intuitive and sensitive, and a lot of smells are spiritual too. People don't realize. But so I felt like the energy there, the spirits there, were also like feeding my anger, and I went to bed just feeling so angry. And I was really not even angry for anything big. It was not even anything, looking back, that I should have been so upset about. But it was just, the catalyst that set me on this course to learn and understand the power of forgiveness. Because from this spider bite, I went through my near-death experience. And 6 or 7 days later, the spider bite was just so painful and uncomfortable. I was getting dizzy. I was at home at this time, and I just did not feel right. I didn't feel like, I could do the normal things I needed to do. And I'm like, I just have to go lay down. I just was just feeling like my life was literally being drained out of me. I was so exhausted and a little bit concerned at that time. But I went to my bed to lay down, because I'm one to just be positive and stay and fight through it and think that, I can make it through this. It's okay. And when I went to my bed, this is where I had my experience. And I don't know how long it was. And time is really not, real when you go into these spiritual realms anyway. But my experience started as I'm laying there, and I had at one point saw like orbs of light coming out of my body. And this was like my soul leaking out of me. My soul was leaving my body because I was dying. And I started to have my life review. And in my life review, at first, I was just shown like my beautiful children and my beautiful family and all these scenes that were just heartwarming and just making me want to live with like all of my being and all of my heart. And then, seeing my husband is good and my husband is great, and I need to forgive him, because I started to see scenes later of that I was angry at my father. I was still angry with my husband. And, there were things that I just couldn't understand how to forgive. Things that I thought were kind of unforgivable. Some betrayals, just the way I grew up, just seemed like, how can you forgive that? And I know God forgives, but I didn't understand we have to forgive equally that way. And so this angry version I could see, because I saw this perspective of like I was watching a movie. It was like scenes from a movie of my life that I got to see. And I didn't like this version of me. I saw from like I was outside my body, seeing myself angry at my husband, seeing myself angry or lashing out at my children. And I didn't realize I let my pain turn into anger. I let my trauma and my pain, it was overflowing. and hurting the ones that I love the most, and hurting myself, and hurting my soul. And so that spider that bit me, it taught me a lesson. And it helped me appreciate my life more, because I saw I have so much to appreciate that I just wasn't seeing clearly, that I was like blind to. And that's what ignorance or anger does, because it's out of ignorance that we hold on to anger, or that we hold on to unforgiveness. And Native American and First Nations teach that anger is poison, and so even though the spider was poisonous, it was like I was already poisonous and toxic because I wasn't letting go of what I needed to let go to move on, to ascend, to have my dream life, to have all of, the way I should truly be living. That's why Creator brought me this experience. And even though it was negative, I've turned it and transformed it into a positive. Because from that, I realized I appreciate my life more now, and I live more now. And I wasn't truly living to my fullest. I wasn't living, to truly be my highest potential. And to be the best version of a wife, to be the best version of a mother, to be the best version of a divine feminine that I am, or a divine mother. And the more each and every one of us I learn that does this, that's our sacred duty. To be and become in what Jesus taught, Yeshua taught, and what Buddha taught. It's not that you have to worship anyone. It's that you need to be like Buddha, be like Christ, follow them. We are to embody them in what they did and what they teach, and their compassion and their love and their forgiveness. For Yeshua even forgave, during a crucifixion, says forgive them. So it is so powerful. It's powerful medicine to forgive. The medicine to anger is forgiveness. And that's, been a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. And I've had to forgive, my father over and over again. He still doesn't unconditionally love me. He still doesn't accept me. He's still really never apologized for the abuse and trauma, and blames me instead. And I've learned to accept and understand and forgive that, and forgive him, and forgive all of my so-called enemies, because your enemies are doing you favors if you understand from a higher perspective. And there really is no enemy, but your greatest enemy is your own self. It's your own inner demons. It's your own shadow that we project onto others. All the parts that I rejected, all the parts that I was ashamed of, all the parts that my father didn't know how to love, I created this program of not loving myself and became angry at myself as well. And I had to forgive myself still. And, we found out after my experience, it was like day 6 or 7, I woke up and was so grateful. Was so grateful because I was scared for my life a little bit, because after I realized I need to change and I need to be better. And so I'm so thankful and blessed to have that experience. I still have a little scar from the spider, and I went to go tell my neighbor elder that I talked to and visit with sometime. I went to get my mail, and I wanted to tell her what happened, that I had been bit by a spider, and we think it was a brown recluse spider, in fact. And she then tells me that her father died 7 days after a spider bit him. And she grew up as a little girl without a father. And I never even knew that. And she'd been my neighbor for 10 years. And so my heart went out to her. But it was like a message to me, like, you're here for a reason. And I want to live each life, each day, each moment, not take even a moment for granted. Because I know how precious health is, because it's been taken from me. I know how precious this life is, because I had a warning and a wake-up call. And I thought I appreciated my life. I thought I appreciated my family. So the more you go within and reflect on yourself each night is also what I teach. So every night when I go to bed, I like do a life review of myself. I do a day review. What could I have done better? What do I need to work on? What did I do well? And congratulate myself and give myself the validation I need and give myself the love that I need. Because Creator is pure love. And that's the most important message that I teach. And that I'm a teacher of love is what I really am. Love for myself that I'm learning to let overflow onto everyone else. And love is the reason we're here. And love is all that matters, and it's the only thing real, and everything else is illusion. And illusions and distractions to keep us from reaching our highest potential and reaching our true love, pureness, and bliss. Because we are here. You are here. Each of you watching this has a mission here on earth, has a reason and a purpose. And that Creator does not make accidents. That you are not an accident in any way, shape, or form, or anyone that feels unworthy. Anyone that feels unloved and unwanted in this world. That you are truly loved, unconditionally. To know that your Heavenly Mother Father, the one that created the magnificent mountains and the oceans and this earth, created you because you are needed, because you are that special, because you are that great. And that's what Creator showed me in my out-of-body experience, where this experience, I'll tell you now, also happened in my bed. And it was the twilight hours. It was 3 or 4 a.m., I don't know, and I couldn't sleep. And I was listening to meditation music. And suddenly my Alexa began to play this beautiful song. And I normally listen to ocean sounds to sleep. And so I was going to turn it off because I thought this is just going to stimulate my mind too much and I need just the ocean sounds to relax me. But I started to listen and I started to feel so much peace and start to feel so relaxed. And it's hard for me to feel that because of the pain that I live in from Lyme disease. And I'm relaxing and going. It's like I'm going unconscious. I'm going deeper and deeper, and my body starts to vibrate. And it starts to intensify. And this vibration is so intense that I literally implode. And I become and return back to dust that we all come from. From the stardust, from the earth dust, it's all the same. And my body was gone. And I was a pure being of light. And a portal opened above me. And I was pulled like a magnet, just something pulled and grabbed me. At the speed of light, I was traveling through this portal. And where I arrived at the galactic center. And there before me was Creator. This magnificent emanation of pure cosmic light source energy. And all around him in this space, I felt pure. I felt home. I felt welcomed. All the things that I looked for my Father. All the things that I looked for in this life that were fleeting and hard to find true love and hard to find true friends and true community and family. It was like everything I needed was there. Everything, nothing mattered anymore either. It was like everything was okay. Everything I worried about, everything I was afraid of, it was gone. Because this is it. This is where we find and know who we are and where we came from. Because I never felt like I fit in this world. And since I was a little girl, I've just dreamed of going home and having a home because I never felt I had a true home where I was loved and accepted for who I am, for who I truly am. But the truth is, the world may not accept you, the world may not understand you, and that's okay. And that's part of our journey, I've learned. That I must love and accept myself, no matter what, no matter who or this world rejects me, no matter how many times. Because I am loved and you are loved. You are worthy of love, I learned. Not because of anything that I've done or will do. but because I exist, because of my pure existence. And the same for you. You are worthy because you were created to be a divine being. You are a divine being. And what everyone has wrong about Creator, and Creator is above good and evil, because people think there's so much evil. Why would a good God allow evil? We allow all of this. We collectively created all of this universe. We are not separate from the universe. Because after I came to this space, I saw other little lights, small in comparison to great source, like me. I was little, and I saw these other little stars like me come over and join and become one with Creator. And then I was called over, and I became one with Creator. In this place, this is where I learned, in this divine place, where I had no ears, I had no body, I had no eyes, everything was communicated telepathically, in a sense, that I became one with Creator and shown we are all one. And it's just an illusion that we are not. It's just an illusion that we are separate. You are not in the universe. You actually are the universe. Creator is the entire universe. Nothing is made of anything but the universe. So that's who we truly are. When people say to me and come to me, I want to know who we are. You are God. You are Goddess. You are Creator. And you are here pretending, playing a part, playing this mortal role. And you come to learn lessons. You come to expand. You come to be whoever you choose to be, because we have free will. But just know you can come back to the pureness, to the peace, to the love, and why we even come here in this grand experiment, in this grand universe, is to show we can come into a dark, heavy place. We can transmute and overcome these obstacles. We can overcome the things that have been holding us back as a human or as a collective when we truly believe and we remember the love that we come from and the love that we are. It's that simple. I've had people comment to me, how can love be the answer? How can it just be love? Because that's what God is in essence, was in what I've learned and know and felt and experienced. God is not this judgmental, jealous God that some of the Christians teach in their biblical teachings. It's not at all like that. And that's what I thought. I thought God was judging me and I wasn't good enough and I wasn't worthy. And then my mind was blown because I've never felt so much love. It's an overwhelming love that's ecstatic and orgasmic and so much like just a drug that you could never get enough of, because this is really the most powerful power is love, and true love, which is unconditional, which means no matter what I've done wrong, I'm still loved and I'm still perfect. And I just need to keep coming back to earth if I don't learn my lessons. That's all. And God is not punishing you. I thought I was being punished by God because of my trials and tribulations. I couldn't understand, why didn't my parents love me? And I saw other families and my cousins that had such loving parents, and I just wanted that, and I just wanted a true family, and I just wanted the simple things, truly. And I felt I was cursed because I couldn't attain those things for so long. But I'm so blessed now to have my own children and my own husband and my own family. And that I never thought growing up I would ever have just these things. And I have achieved my dreams. And now I'm working on future dreams and more, and teaching more to people on how to truly heal and how to truly awaken. And what this ascension is all about, it's a healing and awakening journey. And it goes hand in hand. And I'm still healing. And it's just been revealed to me, as I had discussed with you, that I'm dying again, and I am still dying. And it's okay, and I'm not afraid to die anymore, because I know and understand death is just a transition. And death is not what we've been taught either, and it's another illusion, because we are immortal. We are infinite energy. We are that Creator. We are just a piece of it that broke off and came here in this little vessel temporarily to have some experiences that are, grand. And it's up to you what you do with each experience. Each storm and each trial that I've gone through, I've become stronger, I've become wiser, I've become more resilient, like you say. And I love the name of your show because it's really the resilient souls that are here that are making the change, that are making the differences, that are facing their trauma and their shadows. And I realized from my spider bite, this leads back to my spider bite, that in fact had reactivated my autoimmune disease. And it turned up like basically my ascension symptoms. And I have discovered through quantum healing that I did from my last interview about my near-death experiences and my story, this needs to be told as well, that since January, I've been having severe pain in my jaw and in my ear and experiencing migraines and other symptoms to where I've become bedridden again. And I was bedridden for a year because of Lyme disease and dying at that time really from that as well. And Lyme is a death sentence and it's a debilitating disease. And people with Lyme commit suicide. It is one of the number one ways that people with Lyme die is from suicide because you can't live with such pain. It's been unbearable. And I just pray, and all I can do is pray and meditate. And what I thought was happening to me was ascension symptoms. So I thought this more pain and things that were happening to me, I was attributing them to ascension symptoms. And if people don't know what ascension symptoms are, that's coming from the sun, and it's when there's X-class flares, and the Schumann all go hand in hand with this, but they are giving us activations and upgrades and downloads and helping us ascend, but at times it's very uncomfortable, and at times you can have symptoms of joint pain or flu-like things, dizziness, tingling, vibrations. There's various, you guys can look up more about this. But I'm so grateful and blessed to be revealed to me that during a quantum healing I did as a surrogate session on myself through one of my psychic medium friends who I trade sessions with, the angels and Aghartans came through and informed me that I have a hidden jaw infection. And essentially we can die from these jaw infections, from the bacterial infection. And it's going to my heart and it's going to my brain. And I also have a pinched nerve now related to this, an ear infection. And though this is bad news, at the same time, this is great news for me because I finally had answers. And this is the great power of quantum healing and things that like Dolores Cannon and Edgar Cayce were able to do because they channel and give actually medical recommendations and give actual diagnoses. And I help other clients do this as well. So it's so powerful, and now I know a root cause and why I, have been feeling the way I've been feeling, but I also already have hope and know, and the angels have already given me so many signs and shown me I'm going to be okay and I'm going to survive, and this is just another part of my journey and story that I need to share, that hidden jaw infections are killing people. And you need to find, if you have any autoimmune disease and you're not getting better from any of your treatments that you're trying, you need to look into your teeth. And you need to look into the jaw and find a biological dentist and find a holistic dentist because they're the only ones that really know how to treat this and are specializing this. And you need to get a cone and beam x-ray to find the hidden infections, first of all, with a holistic dentist. And some dentists actually have the cone and beam as well. So I recommend starting there for others that are going through trials right now. But when I was communing with Creator in this oneness, this is where I learned my mission as well. And the funny thing is, it's not just my mission, it's everyone's mission, because we have individual missions that we come here for, and then we have a collective mission as the light workers and starseeds and indigos all here that are, bringing the light source codes and sharing them with everyone like you and me, and helping to raise the consciousness of the planet and humanity. And congratulations to you, and I love you, and thank you for all your great work that you do, because you are helping people ascend and awaken and heal. So bless you for that. And I hope more great works for you in the future, and I know you will. But our mission is love. So anyone that wants to argue love can't be the answer, this is straight from the ultimate source, the source of all that told me love is the answer. And it's just funny because during 2020, when I did a quantum healing on a client, when the lockdowns just started and all these things, and I was a little unprepared, even though I knew things like this were potential to happen. But the angels came through and I asked them, what was the cure for COVID? What is the cure that we need? And they told me love and unity. And I was like, wait, it's not an herb, or it's not, this that we need? And I asked them again, and the angels said again, it's love and unity that we need. And that's what all of us need. And so I have taken that pure love, that pure bliss, and that energy from Creator, and I've brought it back. And I try to do my best to embody all of that Creator is, all of that I truly am, and know who I truly am now. That I am the I am. And it's not an egoic thing, because I think people think to say, and it was even hard and uncomfortable for me to say, like, I'm God, And it's so misunderstood that it's not that, people just don't understand God and don't understand where we came from, or don't understand love, because they love for all the wrong reasons sometimes. We love for superficial things, or because of status and things like that. But when true love is there and is your foundation, and it has become my foundation of who I am, and that's how I'm becoming powerful, that's how I am going to heal this, and I'm going to heal anything else and overcome any other trial in my life, because I have a stronger faith than I've ever had. And I believe in myself more than I ever had. And that was one of my, biggest tests and lessons for me, is learning to truly love and accept myself unconditionally and believe in myself to that power and that greatness, because we are all that great, is what Creator showed me and communicated with me. I felt the greatness that I am, that you are, that we all are. And we only have to let go of all the things holding us back that keep us from realizing our potential. So your past is not an indicator of your future. Your past does not matter about who you are. What matters is right now who you are and who you're being. And it doesn't matter your religion. The religion, if it works for you, that is great and that is good. Where I have found, and I call myself an ominist, because I found truth in many religions, and all the religions were teaching the main things that are the same. And it's just that, dogma or prejudices or ignorance keep, Christians especially, from studying and learning from other religions and traditions and cultures. And we can expand and evolve by doing this. And I've expanded and evolved so much by studying Buddhism, by studying Hinduism, by reconnecting to my Native American ancestors and ancestry. And the more we do that, also helps to honor Creator, also helps to fulfill our mission, because that brings us back to unity and oneness. And when we were all a family, in the Garden of Eden, we were all a family. And that's what we're going back to, and that's what New Earth is. It's the new Garden of Eden, and it is the light workers and starseeds and the volunteer souls that came here to bring heaven to earth. So you don't have to have an out-of-body experience or near-death experience to start doing this and to start being this. Be love. That's what you have to be. And, when I was a little girl, when I was 10, 11 years old, was one of the first experiences that I had with death. My great-grandmother died, and I loved her very much and was very close with her. And I got to go hold her hand before she died, and I didn't want to hold her hand because I just thought, she's dying, I might get that, or I didn't understand as a little girl, and it was a little scary to me. And also at that time, many trials were going on. My parents got divorced. I changed schools. And I found out my father was dying. And he was given a terminal diagnosis. And I was literally heartbroken from all of these things going on and overwhelmed. And I was suicidal from this time and was overwhelmed with suicidal thoughts. And again, it was just these thoughts of, I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. Why I'm in this world. Nobody will miss me if I'm gone. So all these negative thoughts, these demons were reoccurring in my mind, and they told me, let's just end it. And I went to a cabinet and I took these pills to try to take my life. But what happened is a miracle, because I heard another voice. And that voice was not my voice, and it was a voice I never heard before. And it said, go tell your mother what you did. And I thought about it, and I was like, okay, I made a mistake, and I don't want to die, and I'm going to go tell them what I did. And it actually turned out, it was mostly aspirin that I took. So I really just would have been very sick. But I went and told my mother, and they took me to the doctor, and I didn't really admit at that time that I was ashamed I wanted to die, and that I was so sad, and I just wanted to go home, and I wanted to feel loved, and I wanted to feel home and safe again, because I remembered that still as a little girl. But the angel saved me. The angel saved me then. That was the first occurrence that I had where I had been saved by divine intervention. And many of you might have had that close call with a car accident where you don't know how you survived, where it's like little miracles like that, where God is showing you, Creator is showing you, you are here for a reason. And you are so loved. And, it's so hard to teach and comprehend to other human beings when I try to explain the pure love feeling going through your entire being in essence, that how amazing that is. And I've been going in and out of heaven since these experiences, experiencing different levels of heaven. And I've also sought and been seeking other tools to get us, or keys to get us to heaven, because the way that I was taken to heaven in my out-of-body experience was through the Alexa played, the specific healing code or healing mantra. It was actually a Ganesha mantra, which has also been revealed to me. Many people have been asking what was the mantra that played. And I had never listened to mantras before this. This was around 2015-16 when this happened, and I just listened to regular basic meditation music. But that was the key and tool that unlocked the doorway or the portal. And now I've learned and found other keys and portals. Through meditation and our own journeys with plant medicine, we can also reach these higher states of consciousness. With medicine like ayahuasca, with medicine like psilocybin, and these are traditional medicines that I've been working with on my healing journey, and also helped take me to next levels on my awakening and healing journey as well. But people need to understand we're not supposed to wait to go to heaven. We are supposed to create heaven here. I have not experienced ayahuasca myself yet. I have experienced DMT and psilocybin, excuse me, and then I actually give my clients what's called kava tea, and that's like an entheogen, and it helps you reach deeper states of relaxation, and it's a great meditation tea, a great healing tea, and just helps you get really, really relaxed as well. So I felt so many people suffer and struggle with anxiety, and they tell me I can't meditate. And I say, we all can meditate. We were born and designed to meditate. We actually meditate naturally, unconsciously at many times throughout the day. People don't realize. Do you ever drive somewhere and you go into a zone and zone out, and you've gone into a meditative state? You don't even remember how you get to your destination when you get there because you went on autopilot. That's a meditation that you went into. I can go into my garden or go in when I'm doing yoga. I go into a meditative state. But mantras really helped me get to next levels. Om Mani Padme, which is a sacred lotus chant, is one of my favorite ones, and I'll use that one when I'm triggered, or if I happen to be triggered, and just use it daily because it helps to embody pure heaven energy and pure peace and bliss. And what you're saying in English is, it's like, oh, divine lotus, It's like a mantra to the cosmic lotus, and you are the lotus. The universe is the lotus. So it's like a love mantra as well. But I am a big proponent, and this is also part of my journey, is teaching and talking about plant medicine and how I've reconnected to my Native American traditions of becoming and making medicine. But psilocybin in itself is great for microdosing, and that's legal to do, I think, in most states in America. But that is where you just take a small portion, and it's going to start to activate your third eye and start detoxing your third eye, essentially. And your third eye is what allows you to use your spiritual gifts, your spiritual vision. Everyone has one. So this is the thing that people think, oh, there's only certain people are psychic. It's actually a misconception that we all are intuitive to different levels and degrees. And through practice, meditation, and plant medicine, and living a healing, holy lifestyle, like I do in what I teach, because I walk the walk and don't just talk the talk, is how you are going to start to activate and unlock your own gifts. And that's really a big part of my work as well. And teaching people how to use their own intuition, how to use their own gifts, and go within into where you don't need any outside person. You won't need me as a guide. My goal is to empower each and every one of my initiates into becoming, like I said before, the best version of themselves. And you become the teacher, you become the master eventually. And really, we all have the potential to become and be the ascended masters like Yeshua, like Buddha as well. We all have unlimited potential. Yeshua even teaches in the Bible that you will do greater things than me. Ye shall do greater things than me. And, people just need to realize our own magic, our own power, and our own divinity. And if you want to know God, you have to know thyself, because that's the truth. Everyone is out there seeking the answers to the mystery, who am I and who is God? It is you are God in your pure form. And then everything else are just layers and programs from the matrix that you have to peel off, take off levels and levels of masks. And psilocybin and DMT and these medicines help you do that. You get to see through the veil. I talk about these medicines as, and I do not call them drugs, I talk about them as medicine. That is what they are traditionally to traditional healers. And it's really insulting to call it a drug, and that's propaganda from Westerners and colonizers, essentially, anyway. But what it has done is transform me and transforming many lives, especially people with PTSD and severe trauma. Microdosing can help you get out of that fear and trauma state and anxiety state and start to encompass and feel more peace. And you're not going to have a trip experience from a microdose. But I have experienced DMT now over a dozen times and broke through. And if you want to meet God, do DMT. Because amazing.
That's the best advertisement. We should just put it on billboards.
Yes, well, and there's going to be people that are judging me for this and judging this, others that we need the right education and to understand it is racist, it is colonizer propaganda to call this a drug. I'm against drugs. Okay,
And
so
I'll be fair, and I will say, I don't know if I have called it that, but I have heard of it, but I've never done a lot of research. So it's fascinating that you're able to speak more on the topic, because at least to me and perhaps to many in the community, we're learning about it as well. And what I'd like to also ask you, because you mentioned it's medicine and it used to be used in Native American
still
tribes.
used. It's still used, yes.
There you go. So it does have ancient roots then.
Yes, yes. And there are books and theories that Jesus, Yeshua, even gave psilocybin was the sacrament. It's one of the holy sacraments. It truly is. And, so I recommend people going and experimenting with microdosing, finding a trusted guided shaman or healer to have these experiences, because now it is becoming popular and trendy, I feel like, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because you have to be in a safe setting and with a trusted guide for if you're going to do like a major ayahuasca or a major, what I call macrodosing or hero's journey with psilocybin. My husband and I have been going on psilocybin journeys, both microdosing, macrodosing, and it has helped heal our relationship so much. It has helped our relationship tremendously. It helped me forgive him even more because the psilocybin is a teacher. DMT is a teacher, and DMT is produced naturally in our brain. So you're on drugs anyway, if you call it a drug. A DMT is released when you die in copious amounts, and then it's when you go to sleep, DMT is released every night. So science-based people will say these are just hallucinations. You're just having dreams and hallucinations. And what I learned is that's not true at all. And the first time I had my first big psilocybin healing journey with my husband, we were outside and we both witnessed the same hallucinations. So how is that possible if this is just hallucination? We both were sitting outside looking at the stars, and the stars appeared to be connected with lines of light. And they seemed so close to us, and it created a grid around the earth. And then the stars spoke and communicated to us both telepathically and told us, we are your family and we love you. We are your ancestors, we are your family, and we love you. And I was like, what? The stars are talking to me. So, it was amazing. And I had there was like 3 things just that night on that journey that my grass turned into like the ocean. It started moving like the ocean. And then we saw Happy Buddha appeared. Both of us saw Happy Buddha's face appeared in the grass. And when I looked at the trees were just covered in eyes. And very psychedelic, trippy art is what, the trees appeared as. But I learned a great deal in that experience. It wasn't just about, very exciting and exhilarating visuals, but that's part of it. And DMT especially. And DMT is amazing because it's only like a 10-minute thing and you go straight to heaven, or some people go to hell. And because and it's all subjective to your karma and your thoughts and your minds of you can come out of hell. Hell is not permanent. It's more of a purgatory is also what I've learned. And really we put ourselves there. Essentially, we judge ourselves. We are all judging ourselves. And we don't need to. But other than to learn, not to punish. I really hope, the future of New Earth and healing is quantum healing, is plant medicine, and return to nature, return to Mother Earth, return of the Divine Mother. And that's also, a big part of who I am and who I'm teaching now, or what I'm teaching is remembering the feminine goddess that has been suppressed. That God had a wife in the Bible. Jesus had Mary Magdalene, and that's been suppressed. And it's 2024. Come on. It's like, the women, it's time for the women to rise and be recognized as equals. And, and we are divine teachers and divine mothers. And for the men, we need the divine men to stand up and the divine women. And I'm finding more and more of them. And it's so exciting to see. But if you have a chance, or anyone has a chance, back to plant medicines, there's a great documentary called The Truth of Reality, and that talks about ayahuasca. And DMT, the spirit molecule, is on YouTube, and I believe is free, and that's a great one if anyone is interested in more healing and experiencing Creator more. But I also want people to know there's ways to reach Creator just with mantras, just with meditation, and gurus and monks and healers, and I've been able to do this too. You can have out-of-body experiences and astral travel once you learn and practice this more. And you do it, like I said, naturally. When you go to sleep, you actually have an out-of-body experience every night.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and it's so fascinating. When you talk about plant medicine, and I also want to touch upon quantum healing as well, one of the things that I hear a lot from our community is, how do we deal with fear? Because so often, right, we are in fear of the one thing or the other, and we have those sometimes irrational fears, sometimes they're very rational, that we worry about losing our jobs or losing our house, whatever, or the future, for our children, for anything. Is just such a long list, and it seems like nowadays, like, we just go on being scared every day for like everything that's about to happen. So what can we do to feel a bit more at ease and at peace? And I also have to say, this is what struck me in your message, you know, talking so lightly about what you're going through, which is enormous and massive, and then being so light about it and knowing that you will make it through and that this is your journey. So how do we manage that fear? How do we keep it at bay?
Going within. Again, all of the answers you seek, everybody looks, you can't, Google doesn't have all the answers. So you have to meditate more and go within and trust more. People need that trust and that faith to let go of the fear, to face the fears. And I've been facing my fears more and more, and try to identify your fears first. And what are you truly most afraid of? Because we have nothing to fear. We truly have that. It's just illusion. Fear is another form of illusions. And fear is also takes your power away. It disempowers you. Because if you are creator, you're not separate from creator, and you truly know you're an immortal divine being, everything that happens here is temporary. Remember this. Everything that you go through is temporary. So when I'm having a horrible pain day or trial or anything, I tell myself this is temporary. And it's not real. Or like, I've developed an anxiety driving in the car, and my ear infection just makes me nervous now when I go in the car, I feel off balance. And I've had to get through that fear by telling myself, this is just temporary. If we get in a wreck, everything's going to be okay no matter what. Just start telling yourself that, because that is the truth. If you didn't, it's anxiety about the future that makes people fear too. Let go of, our brain is not designed to know every aspect about the future, and people obsess and have anxiety trying to figure out every detail of how something's going to work out. You don't need to do that to manifest, and you're causing blocks, and you're causing more interference in ascending to your highest timeline by this, mindless thoughts of, trying to overanalyze things. So letting go more and trusting more that everything's working out in your favor. The spider bit me and it's working out in my favor. I may be disabled right now, but this is making me stronger and more resilient. It's working out in my favor. Try to look at everything that goes wrong or everything you're afraid of. What is the lesson in this? What can I learn from this? And fear is overcome by knowing who you are and knowing you're loved and that you have nothing to fear. Everything you already need, is already in you. So stop looking outside and you'll realize you have nothing to be afraid of at the end of the day. But the truth is, my power is within, to find my peace no matter the chaos in the world, to be the eye of the storm when the tornado is there. The eye of the storm is still calm. And understand that the storms aren't here to punish us. They're here to help us expand. And, wars are very tragic and traumatic, but they also help humanity learn the hardest lessons in life. But we're coming to a time where we are no longer going to need these wars and no longer going to need so much contrast, because we are ascending and evolving back into, really the heaven of earth like I speak of, and new earth like I speak of. And so you should have hope for the future. This is what I have seen clearly, many times. Creator has shown me, and understand that futures are all potential. So any prophecy can be changed. So do not think, if there's you hear a prophecy from anyone, any news, any media, any text, you hear prophecy and it's negative and fear-based, making you feel that it's not helping you, you need to let it go, and it's not real. And you can change it by finding new prophecies, by finding and researching and going within to understand that, you are not a victim. We agreed to all these things before we come here. That's what I do in my work. We talk to the guides and the ancestors, and we find out our contracts that we made before we came here, and find out the lessons that we needed to learn. And my main soul lesson was forgiveness that I needed to learn again in this life. But, if you don't figure it out, you're like the Mario brother. You get to keep coming back. We have infinite lives. And then you change your avatar. You can come as a woman. You can come as a man. But the divine code, the divine plan, this universe is already perfect. You are already perfect. And, people just need to know and trust that. And fear is going to keep you in a low vibration and keep you easily controlled. And that's why the government uses fear to control people. And even some religions use it to control people and suppress you and keep you from really truly finding your power again and who you are and living your mission. Because it's, if you're raised as a Christian and Catholic as I was, it's a sin to do the work that I'm doing and things that I teach. It's like, even though it's so good and the fruits of my labor are good, I am judged and hated by my own family. And the first person that I told outside my family about my out-of-body experience was a religious aunt of mine who I used to be really close to and who I thought truly loved me. And I told her how I met Creator, and I was told my mission, and I was so excited to tell her, and she crushed my heart. And she hurt me so deeply because she told me I was deceived and I was listening to demons, and that it wasn't a real thing that happened to me, essentially. And so she gaslighted me and shamed me and discredited, just didn't want to hear it. She didn't even let me finish. And I actually stopped telling, the story, or I didn't go out and speak it. I didn't. So because of this occurrence from her, I felt I wasn't good enough again. I felt maybe, I'm not the right messenger for God. I'm not the right one to do this. And it was really my being bitten by the spider that got me to start speaking about my out-of-body experience. And now I'm not afraid, and I don't care if I tell anyone who it is and they laugh at me or they don't believe me, and like I said, I've had really mean and hateful comments about my near-death experience, saying that, it doesn't sounds like I'm a phony and all these things or whatever. And, it's okay. And I have to be brave to tell my story, and I'm going to be called crazy, and I'm going to be called all these things, and I have been. But the truth is I'm brave enough and strong enough and understand that, and don't let the opinions of others affect me anymore. Because what matters is I know I'm loved perfectly, unconditionally by my Creator, by my ancestors, and I'm going to love myself equally just like that. And then I'm powerful, and it doesn't matter what others think of you. And it holds people back because they worry about what other people think too much. And that's one thing I've been good at since I was a child, is standing up to authority and going against the grain and being brave enough to look outside the box. Like, I found Edgar Cayce because I was brave enough to say, I didn't want to offend God by, is it offensive if I study other religions? It is offensive if, I went down this spiritual path and learned it. It wasn't. It's just the religions were teaching me these things to keep me trapped in their dogma. And Edgar Cayce was a devout, divine Christian, and I was actually married to him in past life and had many incarnations with him, I've learned, and why I was so drawn to him. But yeah, fear is what's holding humanity back big time. And, we're going to overcome it, though, and we're going to overcome all these trials. And again, with the future and prophecies, I want to actually mention one of the best prophecies that I like to teach and talk about is the whirling rainbow, or the rainbow warrior prophecy. And in this prophecy, it's just positive and beautiful, and it talks about an earth where the rainbow warriors are actually people of all creeds and all colors that come to teach the truth again, that come to bring the oneness again and the peace. and the elders will be respected, and the children can play safe, and the earth will become green and lush again, and the animals will become, it's just more peace and balance, and the sickness and the strife and the struggle that we've known, it is truly describing the new heaven on earth. And I've already seen this come to fruition and happening as we speak. So have great hope for the future, that this is not just my future, it's for all of you and everyone who believes and holds on to that hope and dream, that we are capable of greatness and great things, and becoming and being just like the Christ, just like the Buddha, just like Guan Yin or Mother Mary. Whoever who you have that connection to, just it's not about your religion, it's about who you connect with and being love.
That's such a beautiful message, Denali, and I loved listening to every second of it, and I think you're so right. It's it is all about love, and the more we remember it, the less room and space there is for fear, for sadness, for anxiety, for depression. The more we cling on to love and to light, the more the bad things sort of like have less power over us. So that's what we need to remember. So thank you for reminding us all of this today. Now, what I want to end with is, I know that you do quantum healing as well, and you've mentioned some of the healing that you've done. So how can people reach out to you if they want to, and how can they find your work?
Okay, yes. Well, so I call myself a quantum healer, but now that's being used by lots of people and can mean very many things. So to break it down, what I do specifically is a form of quantum healing hypnosis therapy that I actually created along with the help of the Aghartans from Inner Earth, who we didn't get into yet, but they helped me create an evolution of Dolores's original technique that is twice as fast, because her technique in QHHT takes 4 hours, and that's most people don't have 4 hours, and so we've found ways, and I also included more shamanic practices with help of the Agarthans, but that you guys can find me on TikTok, Denali Veda Quantum Healer, and on Facebook, Denali Veda Quantum Healer, and then I have a website, DenaliMindBodySoul.com, and I also create medicine and holistic medicine. So I have some of my healing medicinal products on my website as well that are for detoxing parasites, heavy metal, and candida, which are also root causes killing us and making us sick, especially in America, because the FDA does not protect us, and tons of poison are in our food and public water here, which is going to change and changing as well. And I should have, my book should be finished hopefully this year and published this year, which is going to talk more about the Aghartans, more about spiritual experiences, and how to truly heal, love, and experience heaven on earth from within yourself, and heal and awaken to next levels on your journey. And that's what quantum healing is so powerful, because people that want to have a spiritual experience, you can actually have them during a quantum healing. You can have an out-of-body experience. You can meet your angels and guides and ancestors. And I'm teaching you how to actually open and activate your third eye. So it's a very empowering experience, more so than going to just get Reiki or going to just to a psychic, because I'm teaching you to be the psychic. I'm teaching you to be the creator, to be all that you need to be. And this is where, if you feel called to do this, you definitely, should be looking into this, and look into Dolores Cannon, because her work is amazing. And Edgar Cayce was basically, doing the same thing. He was channeling, and he helped diagnose and perform so many miracles from his thousands and thousands of channeling reading sessions, and they called him the sleeping prophet. But we all have potential to divine for ourselves. So that's what's so exciting, and another hopeful and great thing as we go into New Earth and becoming, this New Earth civilization of a more peaceful, loving, divine beings.
It's so beautiful. Could you share more about what the Aghartans are, though? Because you mentioned you developed this new technique for quantum healing together with them, and I'm thinking myself, but also I'm sure a lot of other people would probably not know who you're referring to.
Agartha has many names, and it is a heavenly realm, state, dimension where like the ascended masters dwell. So Buddha's there, Guanyin is there, Yeshua is there. My master teacher I just met finally this year is there, and it's said to exist in inner Earth. And there are many stories in ancient traditions in the Hindu Vedas and Buddhist know about like Agartha, Shambhala, Shangri-La. So it's an inner heavenly realm city where they actually, the ascended masters, watch over and guard and keep and guide humanity from the inner earth. Like they connect to us psychically and channel through us. So just like Dolores Cannon had Nostradamus come through and she wrote a book that was channeled from her client that had a past life with Nostradamus. I started receiving downloads and messages from clients from the Aghartans, but they were also visiting my dreams as well. So it has been very exciting to meet and work with them, and they have taught me and helped me heal to next levels. And they brought the Hindu Vedas. They brought all real, true spiritual knowledge is coming from like Agartha, essentially, but it comes from Creator and then comes from Agartha. Or it's coming from, Agartha is also in contact with like the star collectives and Galactic Federation and all of those things, all of those like starseed. They're all working together. And I've got to enter Agartha after it took, I don't know, 2 years of working with them and me praying and meditating and asking, allow me into Agartha. I want to go to Agartha because it's like, it's kind of like Avatar. If you've seen the Avatar, where everything's like glowing and it's just like this magical cosmic, land and mystical creatures are there as well. And I'll just add this, another thing the Aghartans have been teaching is that, we all have the ability within us, and they will connect. Like if you hear me talking about this and you feel like, they sound familiar to me, because that's like a clue from your past life. You've worked with them in past lives. And that's why my name is actually Denali Veda. Veda comes from the Hindu Vedas, and the Vedas came from the Aghartans. And that was my initiation name. It was my initiation when I was first taken to heaven in my out-of-body experience. So I also perform initiations and will initiate others and have a program of initiation, which is really, really powerful. And you receive a spiritual name from me as well in spirit.